Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new podcast. I hope you are all doing well and I hope you are safe. Certainly, it's summertime. It is hot out here. It's also quite humid. I was sweating earlier, even with the AC on. Yes. But nonetheless, gotta do the podcast. But first and foremost, please don't forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL, and check out my website. Got a cool few things, whatever you like. Tech and fashion coming together. Not only that, check out the kind of items that I made for sale. That's mrinformal.com, MRINFORMAL.com. That's MRINFORMAL.com. Go to the store section to check out the items that I have made. So, for the podcast 114, yes, we are on podcast 114. These are the 4 topics. Number 1, Uber boats. Yes, Uber boats is thinking about, Uber is thinking about making boats to give you a tour of London. Number 2, in the midst of this pandemic, the CCP virus, whatever you want to call it, Levi's has cut its workforce. Number 3, Intel finally released Thunderbolt 4. So what kind of tech does it have? Will it be better than Thunderbolt 3? We don't know. Last but not least, number 4, Brooks Brothers is in trouble. The century-old company, or almost century-old companies, is having troubles with and during this pandemic. So those are the 4 topics for today for the podcast 114. I am Mr. Informal. Let's go ahead and start the podcast. The article is from hypebeast.com. Title is Uber is extending its offering to boats. Uber boats. Uber has announced that it will be extending its London offering this summer by taking to the water to offer commuter boat service that will be bookable through the company's app. Expected to launch this August, the Uber boat will initially consist of 20-strong fleet of boats and Thames Clippers piers, offering journeys up and down the River Thames from Putney to Woolwich with boarding granted through a QR code. Uber also confirmed that its users will pay the same price for a boat as they would with a car, although an end-to-end journey with a car and boat will not be doable from the offset. After being suspended as a result of the virus, London's boat service resumed on June 15, while it's currently running a reduced capacity with other guidelines like face masks also in place. So, you see, when you have a river in the middle of the city, this makes sense, especially in London. And as you know, London traffic is bad, especially the downtown area or the busy area, the traffic area. So by Uber offering its current customer with another way of getting to those busy places, they actually might succeed with Uber boats. Now, this only works with rivers or some kind of body of water in the middle of the city. This makes sense, especially if you want to try to avoid traffic. And since there's no traffic in the water, well, you're gonna get to your destination much faster. This actually reminds me of a Top Gear episode when they were trying to see which vehicle or some type of transportation was faster. Obviously, since Top Gear, the car won, but I cannot believe that this will become a reality as more and more people have to have cars and not boats. And so London is gonna have some boats. But what if there's gonna be too many boats? Well, there's gonna be a lot of traffic. What about the docks? But I think depending on the area, I think it won't be a problem with docks. But I do think that certain point of a part of the river or the city will have dock. I don't think every 10 feet away is going to be a dock. No, I think there's going to be a docking station So that is going to be interesting. And since with boats, how many people will there be? Are they just going to have a one-on-one ride, or there's going to be multiple people in one boat ride? So it's going to be interesting, but I like this idea. Certainly, if you're a Uber stockholder, then you're at a good place. And certainly, Uber is actually doing great and thinking of other ways of giving its current customers a different way of getting to their destination. And it just so happens that, hey, this Uber boats might have something that it could be successful in the future. And I would not be surprised if the competition follows suit. And when they follow suit, are we gonna be surprised that there's traffic in rivers now? What about river pollution? So there's gonna be a lot of environmental factors that will come into this. But certainly this is a great idea in theory. Moving on to the second topic from hypebeast.com. Levi's to cut jobs following 62% net revenue drop in quarter 2. So Levi Strauss & Company has reported 62% decline in net revenue in Q2, and as a result has announced 700 job cuts in order to save $100 million annually. Really? Furthermore, it has warned that business would be further hit in the second half of the year despite its shops being reopened following the virus pandemic. Levi's did report the sales have been better since reopening the stores. However, store closures still made considerable impact on the denim apparel brand. As a result, around 15% of its workforce in non-retailer, non-manufacturer segments will be cut. The company also noted that it is concerned about how it will offload excess unsold inventory that's affecting the brand's margin. See, I have a problem with this. As big as Levi's is, you're telling me you're gonna announce 700 jobs cut in order to save $100 million? That's it? Okay, what about moving forward when this is over? When this whole virus is over? You're gonna rehire them? You're gonna hire more as your sales go up again? You know this is just temporary. It doesn't make sense, and a lot of retailers are doing this. And when everything goes back to normal, suddenly they're gonna rehire. It doesn't make sense. Why cut them now? I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to save $100 million just this year. And the next year they're gonna rehire them again, which doesn't make sense. They just don't want to pay their workers. That's all it is. That is why I have a problem with this, because in the long term it doesn't make sense. Short term, yeah, I see it, but in the moral sense, it's wrong. In ethic sense, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. How you're gonna cut that many jobs for as big as Levi's, knowing it has money. Billions of money. Heck, I wouldn't be surprised if it's trillions of money. Not only that, the company has a brand equity, cachet, following. I mean, your Levi's, the most famous denim, the most famous jeans brand in the world, and you're telling me that you're gonna cut 700 jobs just to save $100 million? $100 million in reality. In their financial statement, $100 million is nothing to Levi. It's really nothing. And yet you're telling me that you're gonna say $100 million just this year. So not only that, according to the article, IBES data from Refinitiv, the 62% fall in Q2 net revenue equated to the total income of $497.5 million, which beats analysts' expectation of $485.5 million. It is still, I don't care what the numbers say, but the fact that they're trying to cut 700 jobs, and think about it, non-retail, and this non-manufacturing, Okay, meaning that would be their headquarters or their factory. And again, I'm gonna go back to what I'm saying. It When things go back to normal, they're gonna rehire them. But these people who was rehired 3 months prior to the virus, suddenly was disappointed, and now they're gonna be like, screw Levi's, I'm just gonna go somewhere else. They should have just kept these people or kept these jobs and paid them, because in reality Levi's has the money. And anybody's arguing, telling me that, oh, they don't have the money right now, let get out of here. We all know, for the most famous jeans, the most famous pants brand in the world doesn't have money. I don't believe that. But look, this to me just doesn't make sense in the long term, in the big scheme of things. $100 million is like pocket change to them. Moving on to the third topic from Intel Newsroom. So, Thunderbolt 4 is coming. They have announced it. Apparently, it is aimed for multitasker. So, Thunderbolt 4. It's able to deliver the exact same max transfer speed, data, video, and power as Thunderbolt 3, which is 40 gigabit per second speed. However, Intel says Thunderbolt 4 connection will transfer data more securely than Thunderbolt 3. What does that even mean? Like, securely? Like, to me, this is nonsense. Anyways, Thunderbolt 4 will be able to support 2 4K display instead of Thunderbolt 3. One 8K display. Not only that, Thunderbolt 4 will support next generation computers that have Intel's latest and greatest chipset. To me, it just doesn't make sense. So, obviously, they both have the same maximum speed, same transfer rate. I mean, it has 15 watts of power. It can network. So, really, what is this for? I'm trying to understand. To me, this is all obvious that... Look, you know what? Let me backtrack for a moment. To the consumers, this doesn't mean crap. But it does mean crap to your pockets. Meaning Thunderbolt 4 is just another scheme that Intel and Apple are trying to get more money from you. Think about it. The maximum speed doesn't change. I mean, yeah, you can put 2 4K or 1 8K monitor. But what else is there? I mean, I'm looking at the chart here. I mean, I don't know what else is there to do in terms of practicality or something innovative. Not only that, I mean, Apple is going to use their own chipset. So I'm not even sure if Macs are going to use Thunderbolt 4 now, because Apple is creating their own processor, or custom processor, I guess you can say, or custom CPU, or custom computers, whatever. Anyways, so in the future, should you buy Thunderbolt 4? No, because one, its feature is not confirmed. It's unsure, it's unproven. Not only that, it doesn't change anything from Thunderbolt 3. So why is Intel doing this? You see, that's my problem with Intel. They're focusing on certain things that is not innovative, even though the competition is beating them. Not only that, you can tell how greedy they are, because Thunderbolt licensing is expensive. Why do you think a lot of Thunderbolt accessories are expensive? I mean, look, in general, Apple accessories are expensive, but having Thunderbolt 3 on accessory that's approved or compliant is expensive. So, in the tech scheme of things, this is not a big deal. Should you buy Thunderbolt 3? Yeah, keep buying it because it's cheaper. Should you buy Thunderbolt 4? Maybe if it's become cheaper or less. But the fact is, it's not needed anymore. I'm glad that USB-C is catching up to these things because at least with USB, it's universally accepted, unlike Thunderbolt. So, the last topic for podcast 114 from Hypebeast. Brook Brothers secures $80 million interest-free loan. Wow. That's crazy. So, subsequent to filing Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection, American retail Brook Brothers has now managed to secure $80 million of loan coming with zero interest. The loan has been provided by ABGBB LLC, a partnership between Authentic Brand Groups LLC and Simon Property Group, which is currently competing with WHP Global, a brand buying that previously offered 75 million debtor in possession finance to Brook Brothers. Wow, a lot of these investment firms. I'm convinced the terms will be the best that can be achieved, the retailer's lawyer Garrett Paul told U.S. bankruptcy judge Christopher Sonchi, who will sign an order permitting the company to borrow $60 million and later decide on the remaining $20 million in the coming weeks. At the same time, Brook Brothers is planning to hold a court-supervised auction in the near future for the sale of the company, which Vail said will attract ample competition, which we had active discussion with multiple bidders. Wow. Well, they did file for bankruptcy, but now they're getting some secured money with zero interest. So, Brook Brothers, man, this company's been there for a long time, and they're filing for bankruptcy. So this lets you know that Brook Brothers was in trouble prior to this virus. Because if they file bankruptcy by this time, then we all know that they didn't have the money, they didn't have any savings, they were probably bad finance management. Maybe the accountants, or maybe the people higher ups didn't know how to manage the company. But certainly, to me, the biggest downfall of Brook Brothers is always the most expensive place where you can buy suits. Don't get me wrong, they have a market for that, but at the same time, they always seem to attract the older consumers, never the younger ones. You know, the up and coming, the one that just came out of college and just starting out life. They never seem to attract those customers. They always seem to attract the lawyers, the accountants, the investors, you know, those kinds of people, but never the regular guy who's actually making money, who's actually working hard. Never that. To me, you know, I've been to Brook Brothers, and you always seem to feel that when you're there, you're out of place. Now, I'm not saying that they're ignorant or they just don't care, but it's just one of those places that you don't feel like you're invited or you step in the wrong store. But I'm not saying that was the reason. But to me, it could be two things. Bad management. Number two, certainly the prices. And again, Brook Brothers is targeting different types of consumers. And I've said it again. They are targeting older consumers, not the younger ones, and that's how it is. Not only that, for the most part, the management needs to be fired. Needs to be just clean the house, because if you're having this much trouble, and Brook Brothers has been on for a long line, longer than me. Older than me, older than a lot of people nowadays. They've been there for a long time. Not only that, it has 250 stores in America. Think about it, 250 stores. But in any case, I hope they survive. And so that concludes this podcast 114. I am Mr. Informal. I hope you learned something today. I hope I gave you some insights. And again, do not forget to add me on Instagram, MISTERINFORMAL. And then check out my website, MRINFORMAL.com. And so I will see you in the next podcast. Be safe. Bye-bye.